I'm Susan Sheehan, the Vice President of Communications for Nokia. Today we're going to share some news related to Nokia's re-entry into the North American market. We'll spend about 30 minutes taking you through the announcements, and then we'll have about 15 minutes for Q&A. Just to let all of you know, we have a wireless network set up. It's Nokia Press Conference, and the password is Press Conference, all lowercase, all one word. Now, to share the news, I'd like to invite our President and CEO, Mr. Stephen Club.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here at CES. It's wonderful to be in North America on behalf of Nokia. Less than 1 year ago, we outlined a new strategy for our company. The first part of our strategy was to grow our efforts around the affordable mobile phone segment by focusing on connecting the next billion people to the internet. To support this, we've been increasing our R&D investments in this segment, and we are now bringing new products and new forms of innovation to market. Most notably, in October, we introduced the Asha 200, the 201, the 300, and the 303, which brought affordable mobile phones to people around the globe. Just 3 months later, we're now in 76 different markets around the world. Major markets like India, Russia, China, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, and a number of emerging and growing members like Nigeria, Algeria, Tunisia, Uganda, Cambodia, Nepal, the Ukraine. Just an amazing introduction of devices. And we're very pleased with the consumer response we're seeing to this pillar of our strategy, to this investment. The net promoter scores, the willingness of consumers to recommend our products to their friends for the Asha products have clearly been going in the right direction. Consumers are responding positively to this news. Now, of course, the second pillar of our strategy was focused on our smartphone business. We believe that the industry has shifted from a battle of devices to a war of ecosystems. And nowhere is that more evident than here in the United States. So we decided to adopt the Windows Phone platform and to compete in this war of ecosystems in partnership with Microsoft. In October, just 6 months after signing our agreement with Microsoft, we introduced the first real Windows phones, the Nokia Lumia 800 and the Nokia Lumia 710. We shipped both of these products ahead of schedule, and we're very pleased to be able to get out there and begin to learn about this journey. Our Lumia products are sleek on the outside with a head-turning design that is winning awards. And of course, once you get inside the Lumia, you find it's the quickest way to connect with your friends. Its People Hub and Live Tiles give you live updates from your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and email accounts so that all of the information that you're interested in about the people you care about is brought right to the surface. And of course, it connects you very quickly with the internet through the Internet Explorer 9 browser. Plus, with the Lumia family of products, you get many great extras, like Nokia Drive, which gives you free turn-by-turn navigation. Consumers are responding very positively to the overall design of the product and the operating system. To date, we have introduced Lumia to consumers in Europe, including the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Austria, and the Netherlands. We've also expanded the Lumia reach to a number of other countries, including Hong Kong, India, Russia, Singapore, Taiwan, and South Korea. And on January 11th, this week, we're very pleased to announce that we are starting the sales of the Lumia 710 here in the United States with T-Mobile. The launch of the Nokia Lumia 710 with T-Mobile provides the perfect device to appeal to the 150 million Americans still to make the transition to smartphones. At a $49 price with contract, the Lumia 710 brings an unparalleled combination of quality and price to the North American smartphone market. Across our portfolio, Lumia is aimed at the heart of our new strategy and our need to engage in this war of ecosystems, where clearly there are strong contenders already on the field. With Lumia, our intent has been to establish a series of beachheads, to establish beachheads in this war of ecosystems. And we're very pleased to say, country by country, that is what we are now accomplishing. From that beachhead, you will see us push forward with the sales, the marketing, and successive product introductions that are necessary to be successful in this war. All of that being said, there is much more that we can do in this battle, especially here in North America, which, like every other market, has very specific needs and expectations. So, today, I am very pleased to introduce the third device in the Lumia product portfolio, the Nokia Lumia 900. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Nokia Lumia 900, a smartphone designed and delivered specifically with the North American consumer in mind. We're very proud of that. The Lumia 900 is Nokia's first LTE smartphone, coming exclusively to AT&T. The Nokia Lumia 900 will take advantage of AT&T's 4G LTE network for high-performance browsing and for video and audio streaming. We have been working in very close partnership with AT&T to ensure we have the right support and the right approach for the US market. Designed for the North American consumer, the Lumia 900 is built for a rich media experience. It will be initially available in black and cyan, and this smartphone has a 4.3-inch AMOLED clear black display for rich, bright images, both indoors and outdoors as well. It has very fast connection speeds based on AT&T's cutting-edge 4G LTE network, and the Lumia 900 has a long-lasting 1,830 milliamp hour battery. Really looking forward to having this in the market. Now, the primary camera on this device includes Nokia's exclusive Carl Zeiss optics with a large aperture and wide-angle focal length for very high-quality, uncropped images, even in low lighting conditions. In addition, the Lumia 900 includes a front-facing camera with a large aperture and wide-angle lens that ensures sharp, bright images and high-quality video calling right out of the box. Like all Lumia devices, with the Nokia Lumia 900, we agonized over creating a product that is beautifully balanced and easy to use. At first glance, clearly, it looks sleek and progressive on the outside, and when you turn it over and begin to use it, you immediately see that it fits beautifully into your hand. On the inside, not only is the Lumia 900 built on Windows Phone, it is the first real Windows Phone built for and designed for the North American market. Now, to explain what that means, I'd like to invite someone on stage who's been very closely involved with the development of this product, Nokia's Senior Vice President, Kevin Shields, who's going to give us a bit of a demo.
This afternoon, I'd like to quickly tell you about 3 things that we feel really sets the Nokia Lumia 900 smartphone apart from the crowd. It has bold, beautiful, and balanced design that brings out the best in Windows Phone with some exclusive applications coming first to Nokia Lumia. Okay, first, about the design that Stephen mentioned. As Stephen said, it's a different set of priorities in the United States, and it was our focus in the United States market that really gave birth to the bold design of the Lumia 900. We knew that with its 1.4 gigahertz processor, running on AT&T's super fast LTE network, with the great media capabilities of Windows Phone, and we had an opportunity to build a really special content experience. So we gave the Lumia 900 a stunning 4.3-inch AMOLED clear black display. It has AMOLED is a circular polarizing technology that produces deeper blacks and sharper colors. It reduces glare, allowing the light of the underlying display to shine through more vividly. Amazingly, clear black actually produces a brighter display without using more battery power. You will only find this circular polarizing technology on Nokia. The Lumia 900 also has a head-turningly beautiful design. Its shape reflects the extreme product-making heritage of the Nokia N9 and Lumia 800, resulting in a beautifully conceived device wrapped in a single piece of injection-molded polycarbonate. At Nokia, we've been investing in polycarbonate for 20 years. It's why we can make phones that look and feel as great as the Lumia 900. It also allows us to produce premium phones with color, because that color, like this bright cyan you see, is inherent in the material, not cheaply painted on the outside. Polycarbonate also allows us to build phones with super strong structure without having to use extra metal brackets and parts that might detract from antenna performance. The Lumia 900 also has a balanced design throughout. Even with a large 1830 mAh battery, its size is svelte and fits great in your hand. And we balance the Lumia 900 with not one, but two great cameras. You know, at Nokia, we carefully engineer our own camera modules. We don't bulk order parts just off the shelf from vendors. And that's one of the reasons why you'll only find Carl Zeiss optics on Nokia phones. The camera on the back of the Lumia 900 is a real marvel. It has an f2.2 aperture lens with a 28mm focal length and an incredible dual wide mode function that we're super proud of. And you may say, it's a bunch of numbers, why do I care? Let me show you. This is an illustration that will show you what might happen. Imagine yourself out for dinner with friends and you want to take a quick picture of the scene. So you pull out a typical smartphone, which would have a 35mm focal length, and you take a snap. You don't want to get out of your chair and back up and tell the waiter to get out of the way and just destroy the moment in the first place. You just take a quick picture. And what you're going to see is a little bit of a compromise, and the side just sort of cut off the frame a little bit. I hope you don't like the guy on the left because half his face is gone. And you can't really get the moment. And so you may say, well, I'll just put my phone in wide-angle mode. Well, on most smartphones today, what they do in wide-angle mode in 16:9 is they just chop off the top and the bottom. It gets the correct aspect, but it doesn't actually add anything. In fact, it takes away. Cameras with a 28mm focal length, like the one on the Lumia 900, this gives you an idea of what that same scene would look like, taken from the same position. You can see how you get a wider aperture. You can see more of the moment and capture it the way that you remember it. And that dual wide mode function I spoke of earlier, it means that we can take that same wide angle method and apply it to the 16:9 view. So that when you go to wide mode, you actually get more of the view. It looks terrific and it works great. But we didn't stop there. We put a terrific camera on the front of the Lumia 900 as well. And it's a wonder in its own right. It has an f2.4 aperture lens, which means that the front camera of the Lumia 900 lets in as much light as the back camera on nearly every other smartphone out there. It's incredible. And we put a wide-angle lens on the front camera as well, which means that when you're doing video conferencing with the built-in Tango video app, on your side, you don't have to do it alone. You can do it with a friend. Now that is a frightening video conference. We both actually fit. Okay, second reason why the Lumia 900 really stands apart from the smartphone crowd. It brings out the best in this phone. And Stephen went through the high level of what this phone is all about. And there's a couple things that I'd like to highlight for you that you might not know. In particular, the People Hub, which you probably are familiar with, that it integrates LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all in one easy-to-use view. But what you might not know is that you can do groups with People Hub. Groups allow you to have live tiles of all the events from your closest friends and family. And right here, you can even text and email them all in one go. It works great. Another thing you might not know is that when you go into the People card, you can see an integrated history view of all of the communications you've had with this person, including email and text and phone calls, and it even has built-in Facebook chat, which works great. In general, the integration of Windows Phone is one of the things that our customers tell us they're most pleased with. They tell us that on other smartphone platforms, if they want to achieve the same level of functionality, they might have to install and configure as many as 6 applications. Okay, last thing you might not be familiar with is Nokia Drive. Nokia Drive makes the Nokia Lumia series unlike any other Windows phones out there. It provides fully voice-guided turn-by-turn navigation that has a 3D maps view as well as a landscape view that works great in the car. Okay, third reason why the Lumia 900 really stands apart from the crowd. At Nokia, we've been working with a variety of leading media and entertainment brands to develop applications that take full advantage of Windows Phone's Metro UI. What you see here is the ESPN Sports Hub that we've been hooking up with a worldwide leader in sports. It brings together the best of ESPN Mobile's assets. And you're going to see us continue to innovate on this throughout the year to really make the sports nets that are Lumia customers out there delighted. Okay, lastly, I just have to show you the CNN application. Again, CNN, which is the world's most distributed news network, we've developed a great panoramic view that really beautifully shows off the richness and depth of the information and news that CNN brings to the world. It looks terrific and works great. But you know, the real kicker here is we've worked with CNN on their iReporter feature to really do something very interesting and special. iReporter is the largest citizen journalism network in the world. CNN has over 1 million registered users who filed over 18,000 reports last year, including meaningful contributions to events like the Arab Spring, Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Nigeria. And with iReporter on the Lumia 900, when iReporters go to file their reports, they can actually go back in time to select the image that was most representative of the story they're trying to cover. It works terrific. Okay, so what have we seen here today? You see bold, beautiful, and balanced design that brings out the best in Windows Phone, along with first and exclusive applications found only on the Lumia. It all adds up to what we feel like the Nokia Lumia 900 really stands apart from the smartphone crowd. Thank you.
So thank you, Kevin. As Kevin shared, the Lumia 900 is not only about the great device, but it's also about inspiring a great ecosystem. Kevin shared some of the great partners with whom we're working, like ESPN and CNN. We're also working with Univision, as another example, to provide an exclusive application on Nokia Lumia for users in the United States and Puerto Rico for 18 months. This will include unique and exclusive Spanish language content for those users. We're also working with EA to bring more than 20 of the world's most popular games to the Lumia environment, making sure that those products come first to the Nokia Lumia devices. And we're working with organizations like Sesame Street, Michelin, the Atlantic Coast Conference, and many others to ensure that the Lumia experience is rich and differentiated. But of course, the ecosystem is more than just the apps. It's more than the device, it's more than the operating system. It's also about search and productivity software. It's about gaming and unified communications and location-based services, developer tools, and so many other things that collectively must form this ecosystem. To share more about how we are building this ecosystem in partnership with Microsoft, please join me in welcoming on stage the CEO of Microsoft, Mr. Steve Ballmer.
Well, thanks. It's a real pleasure to have a chance to be here. Thanks, Stephen, for the opportunity. It's about as exciting a day as I get a chance to have, and I just can't congratulate Stephen and the Nokia team more on the work that they're launching today. It was approximately a year ago that we announced the partnership with Nokia, and really the whole push to build what clearly can be the strong third ecosystem in the smartphone market, and with a very differentiated point of view. Certainly, as we've seen the reactions to Windows Phone, particularly the 7.5 release that we made this last holiday, the reviews have been fantastic. The focus on really eliminating friction between getting access to the people and information that are most important and most relevant to you, and doing that through our Metro UI has really resonated well. We have about 50,000 apps now in our marketplace, a lot of opportunity to continue to grow, and yet the number is just ramping tremendously every day. And Stephen had a chance to talk about some of the unique applications that are being built for the new Lumia, which I think is fantastic. Nokia got off to a fast start. In a sense, you could say everything seems to take a long time. We didn't sign a contract to work together until less than a year ago at this stage in the game. And to go from concept and discussion to real engineering partnership to delivering the first round of Lumia devices, which are shipping in Europe, I think is fantastic. The Lumia 900 represents another incredibly important milestone in that path. 4G LTE, absolutely critical at this stage for the US, for the North American market. The design, when you pick up and kind of touch and love and feel your Lumia, you will find just a brilliant screen. I mean, it really is quite a fantastic system. The partnership with AT&T, which you hear more about, is critical to us. AT&T has sold more Windows phones than anybody. We've got a lot of room to go still in terms of selling Windows phones, but to have strong push from AT&T across its network, I think, is wonderful. And I feel very much like the partnership that we kicked off a year ago, and the work that Nokia is doing and that we're doing around Windows Phone and this third ecosystem and Lumia is really going to pay off for users, for developers, for operators, and I trust for our two companies. So it's a pleasure to have a chance to be here with you today. It's a very exciting launch, the new Lumia 900. Congratulate Nokia, and certainly we look forward to really exciting a lot of customers with this new product. Thank you.
Thanks. Together, we have created a powerful smartphone with a rich ecosystem of applications and services. But it goes beyond that. Our partners also include the operators, those people who bring this ultimately to the consumer and build the great networks that are necessary to deliver great experiences. To share with you just a little bit more about what the Lumia 900 means to AT&T and therefore to the United States, please join me in welcoming the President and CEO of AT&T Mobility and Consumer Markets, Mr. Ralph Della Vega.
Good to see you. Hello, Steve.
Good to see you.
I think you've noticed today we've been spending a lot of time together, right? You know, Stephen and Steve joined me this morning as we announced several new LTE smartphones and announced that AT&T will be the first carrier to deliver 4G LTE capable Windows phones, and the Lumia 900, of course, is one of those. We're longtime partners with Nokia, and what we're seeing from Stephen and his team is the best of Nokia's past with a terrifically bright future. Believe me, I think Nokia is going to be back in the US in a very big way, and we look forward to launching the 900 Lumia with you. We'll start to offer the Lumia 900 in the coming months, and we'll be offering it in black and beautiful cyan. You've seen some of that already shown by Stephen. We're big fans of Windows Phone. No one has sold or offered more than we have. The platform that Steve and his team built in just a short time frame is truly unique, and as Windows Phone users will tell you, it's truly built around people, not applications. The combination of the Windows Phone, this amazing Lumia 900 hardware, tons of apps, and our 4G LTE network is an absolute knockout. So we look forward, and you should look forward to seeing some great products from AT&T, Microsoft, and Nokia very soon. Congratulations, Steve, and welcome back.
Thank you. There you go. Three great partners. Lumia 900.
Beautiful
United
science.
States. All right. Okay. Thank you both very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Steve. As Ralph noted, we We anticipate sales start for the Lumia 900 with AT&T in the months immediately ahead. We'll be sharing more details about that in the coming weeks. We're very excited to be partnering with Microsoft and AT&T to bring the Nokia Lumia 900 to consumers here in the United States. Before we shift to Q&A, I wanted to say personally how wonderful it is to be back in the United States with Nokia, and it's even better to deliver a real Windows Phone to the American market. Thank you very much, and I think we'll move to Q&A.
We have 2 microphones for questions.
Hi, Will Clemens from Sacramento. Apologize for not standing here. Too much gear. Obviously, you've launched your phone Instagram this week on T-Mobile in the USA. Now you're talking about your partnership with AT&T. Any plans to expand to other carriers, and specifically since you have an LTE device now on Verizon Wireless?
So today we're just announcing AT&T, and obviously we had previous announcements and also confirming sales start with T-Mobile. So we don't have an additional announcement today, but clearly it's our aspiration to reach out to as many consumers as we can in the American market.
We have a question from this side.
Are you here? Phone question. The U.S. retail market, how do you see it making sure that Lumia 900 gets equal face time as opposed to some of the competing platforms?
Well, first of all, the product itself has to stand for something. It has to be differentiated. It has to be a unique point of view. And that's very much why we made the decision we did about Windows Phone, as opposed to yet another collection of static applications on a grid. It's like something unique, something that stands for a different and alive user experience. So you start with that. But then what it takes in a market like the United States, clearly we have to continue to educate consumers about this unique point of view, about this unique experience, which is about advertising, it's about blogs, it's about reviews and all of those things. But also a critical component is the relationship with our partners. AT&T, as an example, critical partner for us because, of course, the vast majority of consumers will walk into an operator store and be presented with a young retail sales professional who says, hey, here's what's available, here are the different options. And we have to work with that partner to make sure that we have that opportunity to share ours as well. In working with a partner like AT&T, for them, they want to ensure that what we're delivering are great products that drive great traffic and ultimately revenue for them. We believe the Lumia 900, because we work so closely with AT&T on its design and development, will meet those needs. So we're very hopeful about that.
Looks like we have a question.
Hi, Nokia Press from Mobile. Any concern, how do you differentiate your devices without, I guess, fragmenting the ecosystem? Any concern about that with the exclusive apps?
Yeah, so it's a very good question and highlights the, if you like, the order of operations around the competition. I'm so happy that companies like Samsung and HTC and others are introducing Windows Phone devices. We all need that to get the ecosystem going, to get the flywheel spinning and all of those types of things, because our principal competition is the other ecosystems at this point, and it's on that we have to remain focused. Now, we do need some elements of differentiation within the ecosystem, and we try and strike a balance where we're doing certain things that provide unique experiences, but don't fracture the ecosystem. For example, we would not want to enter or introduce some APIs or some development elements that are different on a Lumia than on other Windows Phone devices, because that could lead to fragmentation. I think some others are seeing the early effects of fragmentation. We're going to be working very closely ourselves and with our partners, Microsoft, to make sure that we avoid that situation.
Charles from the Guardian. Did I miss an announcement about pricing of these devices and timing when they'll be introduced? And can you give us an update? I know you've quite a bit of mention, but any updates on European sales?
So we have not today announced the specific pricing and timing, other than to say in the coming months immediately ahead, so it's coming soon. As it relates to pricing, what I will say is our intention is to enter the US market with the Lumia 900 aggressively. We're going after this market and really wanting to make a difference, and we need to get that early momentum. You're right, I can't say much about other results because we are in our quiet period, but what I do want to reiterate is the earlier comment about establishing a beachhead. We set out with the Lumia 800 and the 710 in those countries I listed before to get established and started and get this third ecosystem on the ground and going in these markets. And we're proud that we've done that we've begun that process. Now our focus shifts, sales and marketing execution, successive product introductions. We've got to go after those things now to build from there, and that's very much what we're doing. Thank you.
Let's take a question from the gentleman.
Just pass you the microphone so we can hear you.
Jason Nick from DailyTech. So a lot of Nokia's lineup smartphone-wise is lower end phones in markets like China. So how soon are we going to see that kind of part of Nokia's smartphone lineup transition to Windows Phone? Because that's something you guys have been talking about as well.
Yeah, so it's a very deliberate part of our Windows Phone strategy to make sure that we can broaden our price point coverage in both directions from where we started. If you saw us start with the 800 and the 710, with the 900 clearly in terms of capability and size and radio technology, we've gone up. But also we have very specific plans to move down the price point segmentation as well. So you will see us aggressively push down with successive product introductions ahead to cover a broader range of smartphone pricing with those devices. It's something we're going after very aggressively. I'm not giving specific dates. We'll have one announcement after another. There's lots still ahead.
Daniel, from WP Central. A question on storage for the Lumia 900. This is kind of regarded by many as the high-end Nokia device I would expect, especially here in the United States. Any plans to push up to 16 and 32 gigs for storage? A lot of people are looking for that in high-end phones.
So we haven't announced plans to do that, so I'm not going to make an extra announcement here. What I will say as well is that there's a lot of good work going on with our partners at Microsoft in terms of how to also take advantage of cloud storage in an increasingly efficient way. So as you see right now, as you're taking pictures and things like that, automatic synchronization with the live environment and so forth is one way we address that, but we're certainly considering the requirements as we go forward.
Paul Spain from the New Zealand Tech Podcast. I'm curious, what are your plans in the other international markets, and what are you doing to allow people, the early adopters, to access your products that aren't being released through the carrier channel? There seem to be a lot of parallel imports of devices at the moment into smaller markets, and I don't think that's, I'm interested in your plans.
Yeah, so our plans, and you'll see this continue through 2012, is that market by market by market, we'll be taking the Lumia product line in different configurations, region by region, but taking it broadly around the regions where Nokia does business today. And so I highlighted some of those countries. I mentioned, I'm sorry, Australia, but I didn't mention New Zealand, so I got caught on that, thank you. But it's clearly our intention to have broad coverage with the Lumia portfolio. 2012 is the year where a great deal of that work will be undertaken. And what you're seeing as this beachhead strategy gets started in Europe, now the US, we've already announced plans for China and Latin America. In the earlier part of 2012, there's lots more to come. So during the course of 2012, we'll be doing that. As well, we'll be supplementing in various regions operator channels with direct distribution, retail outlets, and so forth, and also online sources. For example, in Europe, there are Amazon sites that have devices available as well. Further back. Okay.
I was wondering where the content is coming for this free Nokia Drive. Where's the content for Nokia Drive coming from?
Are you talking about the mapping content?
Yes.
So just for the benefit of everyone, the question is, where's the content coming from? Nokia, several years ago, acquired a company called Navtech. And Navtech is one of the principal suppliers of underlying database information for locations-based services. I'm glad you asked the question. So the short answer is for Navtech, and we own it, which is great. But I just want to highlight that this whole area of location-based services is an opportunity for significant ongoing differentiation for Nokia in the future. When we think about location-based services, we first think about OMAP and navigation. But recently at Nokia World, we showed some first examples of augmented reality systems where you're using your device, looking around and getting local information based on what you're looking at and which way it's pointing. There's advertising opportunities that come from that. So we're clearly interested in taking advantage of that location-based asset to use that as a principal differentiator for the company going forward.
Phil Goldstein from
fixed wireless. You've been quoted in the past as saying that Nokia wouldn't enter the tablet market unless you could do something that was uniquely Nokia. Can you explain what that means and what thresholds the company might have to cross in order to consider getting into the tablet market?
Yeah, it's similar to how we think about smartphones. At the end of the day, you want to ensure differentiation. If you look at our smartphone efforts, clearly we differentiate in terms of design, we differentiate in terms of optics, location-based services, and a variety of other things. If we believe that we have a combination of those attributes that we can bring to the tablet market or to other devices, whatever it may be, then that's an opportunity that's presented to Nokia.
Hi, Mark Swimmer with .net. I have a quick question. There's a lot of emphasis lately around high-end specs that are coming into smartphones, whether it be quad-core processors or HD displays, and I think there are some benefits to those things. But on the other hand, there's a difference between specs and real-world performance. How do you communicate to your users that you don't necessarily need quad-core power to get swift performance? And then just on the flip side of that, one of the benefits that Windows Phone has had in our test is that it has a good battery life. Are you concerned about what sort of power requirements 4G LTE adds to that equation?
So a great question. The answer to your first question, what are we doing is we're asking everyone in this room just to repeat what you raised, which is the essence of it. Quad core doesn't mean quad performance or quad improved user experience. And I think Windows Phone demonstrates this very well, where you have a very high quality user experience with great animation, with a really rich and vibrant experience, but it's not requiring multiple cores to do that. And quad core, multi-core, all relates to performance as well, because on many of these devices that have multiple cores, the vast majority of time, those cores aren't doing anything other than using a little bit of power, taking that battery life further down. So that's something that we're very cognizant about. Our hope is that we can communicate about the experience, that we can show people how their lives are impacted by, for example, bringing all of that information to the service and the experience. If we can get that message across successfully, we hope we can shift away from the quad core versus dual core when neither one of those necessarily matters. I'm sorry, LTE is a good question. LTE, does have power implications. You'll notice that the battery we put in the Lumia 900 at 1830 milliamp hours is a significant battery. And so part of what we've done there is clearly taken some steps in terms of battery configuration, but also we work very closely with our partners at Microsoft and at Qualcomm to really do some special work to try and balance that from a power perspective. Our belief is that the battery performance on the Lumia 900 will be very superior on the LTE networks. Everyone's learning a lot about how to do that effectively, and we've benefited from that early experience.
Hi, Stephen Johnson from Communication.com. I'm just wondering why no NFC on these devices? Like your competitors have NFC, why not on the 900?
Yeah, NFC is something that Nokia has long been pioneering, and you see it arriving in some of our Symbian devices right now. What we've done is, as we pursue the very first devices with Windows Phone-based platform, we had to make some priority decisions about what capabilities would best have an impact on consumers in the markets that we're entering first. NFC is growing in importance. I expect it's going to grow a lot more in importance, and therefore you can anticipate that it's something that we'll pursue over time. It's something that I personally believe in. You'll see that entering over time. Time for one more question.
Hi, I have a question, Mr. Ida.
I'm sorry, not sure where to look at.
Over here.
Oh, there you are. Thank you. The lights popping.
Is there any update or is there any new information on your interest in purchasing or doing business with RIM?
So there's never been any information at all about that, so there's no update available. What I will say though is that we do clearly see an opportunity in the B2B, the business marketplace. We believe that between the Lumia products that we have and those that are planned, combined with the great services provided in the Microsoft ecosystem, for example, Office 365 for productivity or locally based Exchange servers, that combination of capability gives us a very effective collection of tools to compete with various people who have focused on the business market in the past. So, if I may close, thank you all for joining us today. We're very excited about starting a new dawn for Nokia here in North America. Thank you very much.